Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. A Better You Lifestyle. And I am your host, Willie A. Price of Willie A. Price Speaks and A Better You Lifestyle Inc., nonprofit organization working with our youth to help them to become successful is what A Better You Lifestyle is all about. A better you physical, personal, and financial you. Again, my name is Willie A. Price. Willie A. Price Speaks. It's been a while since I've been on, and I am just setting things back up, getting back into the groove of things. We're going to be doing this show. We've been preparing a lot of different things to get ready for 2022 and our spring programming. So this week is A Mother's Love. You know, every week we do a different subject. The first Sunday is we come on every Sunday at 8 o'clock. The first Sunday is always understanding your you, which is all about understanding who you are and what your specialized skills and abilities are, and using those skills and abilities to become successful. And then we go from there to A Mother's Love, which is always our second Sunday. Third Sunday is Financially You. And then our fourth Sunday is Making Your House Your Home, where we're all about showing you how to make your house your home, how to make a better household for yourself, saving money on buying a home, maintaining a home, reinvesting in real estate, or refinancing the home that you're in, or even getting that first home, which is what we talk about a lot on Making Your House Your Home. Our third week, Financially You, which I'm really looking forward to this month. I'm going to talk about, again, building up your financial awareness, helping you to become more financial literate so that way you can create wealth for not only yourself, but for your family, showing you how to create that roadmap to success, savings, investing, starting a business, investing in real estate, investing in stock market, all those different things, showing you how to create opportunities to invest and create wealth for yourself. So that's Financially You. But tonight we are talking about a mother's love, a mother's love, where we're talking about how we can make our young people become just as successful as we are or as we want to be. And I was watching some videos tonight prior to coming on the show tonight, and I was watching some videos on some different speakers. And one of the things that they were talking about, I was watching the speakers and I was watching how they present, and it always kind of puzzles me. Well, not puzzles me, but it just maybe it's just something that I have a quirk with. I watch youth speakers because I do a lot of speaking to young people. I do a lot of speaking in the schools, and I do a lot of workshops in the schools, colleges, and things like that. And I've often noticed that when a lot of the youth speakers, especially not young, when I primarily not the young speakers, but the youth speakers themselves, person that may be around my age or younger, 40, 50 years old, and they're speaking to young people. And what I've noticed them doing is that they will often put on they'll present and they'll create this demeanor. I guess I don't know. Maybe somebody can help me understand this. I'd never really understood it, but they'll dress like the young person that they're talking to. So they may not have the sagging pants, but the one speaker I saw, he had a baseball cap on. He had it twisted backwards on his head. On his head, he had on like a t-shirt, like a t-shirt, little, wasn't like a nice t-shirt. It was like a t-shirt, but he had a vest on over it and a pair of jeans and some basketball sneakers. Now I'm looking at this person and I'm saying to myself, okay, I know he's like in his 40s, in his 40s at least, early to mid 40s, and I'm looking at him and he's presenting to this group of young students. I think they may have been high school, middle school, high school students. I couldn't really tell. They don't show, of course, you don't show the students when you're speaking too often. But they're speaking to these students. Like I said, I could see the heads of them. So they look like they're middle school, high school, around that age, ninth, 10th, 8th, ninth, 10th graders. And he's presenting to them. And he was presenting in a manner, and he was dressed up like that. And like I've said, I've seen several youth speakers do this. And I don't, maybe it's just me. Like I said, maybe it's just me. But if you're trying to, for me, if I'm trying to lead by example, I can share my story with you of where I've been, what I went through, and where I am now without having to look like my audience. And I don't mean you go in there with a shirt and tie and a suit, and all covered up, which is nothing wrong with that as well. But I guess you want to make the students feel comfortable. But it just really made me think about that when we speak to young people, and then they start to use the slang. And I mean, sometimes you can use certain slangs, but they're like, yo, you know what I'm saying? And I'm listening to the speaker, and it really puzzled me that I was watching these youth speakers because I wanted to learn how to, I'm always looking to learn how to address young people and how to work with young people and how to present to them in a manner that makes them feel like I'm someone they should listen to, or someone that has something to offer them. And tonight I want to talk about understanding your you and understanding your youth. Not so much understanding your you, but understanding your youth, the youth that you're speaking to. When I'm saying that we want to present and be a part of young people's lives, showing them how to be successful. And that's just like a parent. Just like a parent. Just because it's your child, that don't mean you dress like them. That don't mean you hang out with them and their friends and try to be buddy with them. It doesn't mean you sit around and talk to them the way that they talk to their friends, in the same jargon and same rap, same language, the words they use and fact and this, that, and the other. And I mean, sometimes it's cool, to do those things, but not to the point where they see you not as an adult and not as a role model, but more like a buddy, more like a friend. And so that's what it made me think about when I was watching these speakers, was that they're presenting to them and they're trying to get them to be their friend, to let them see, hey, I'm cool, I'm like you, and you should check me out and listen to it. And so I'm listening to it and I'm watching the guy, and he's got a hat turned on backwards. I see another guy, and they got the sneakers on, and and I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow. It just, and like I said, I'm not gonna say it's nothing wrong. It's something wrong with it for me. I just never understood that. And so when I saw that today, and I was watching video after video of different youth speakers, and I kept seeing that same image for a lot of them. And it made me wonder. I said, well, maybe something wrong with me. Maybe that's why I don't go out and do all the keynote speaks, but I don't like doing keynotes anyways. So, that's something that's for me anyways. People say, well, maybe that's why you're not getting any keynotes. I hate keynotes. I hate doing keynotes. I hate doing keynotes. I could go out and I can do a workshop all day, which is actually harder than doing a keynote, because a keynote, you get up in front of a bunch of people, you hoop and holler, you do whatever you do, you get them riled up, and then you leave. And they take away whatever you're giving them. They take away that from that presentation, and then they have to hold on to it the best they can. I do workshops. And so I think about when I do my workshops, I'm dressed in a certain way. I don't have on a suit and tie. Like I said, I may have on a polo shirt, pair of khakis, and a pair of dress shoes. Sometimes I may even have on my New Balance sneakers or something like that. But when the young men look at me and the young men talk to me, and the young men are hearing, or the young men and women, because I do youth workshops, boys and girls, when they hear me and when they listen to me, and I share my stories and they share their stories, we're having conversations and they know that I am the adult. And of course, I'll laugh and joke, and I'll, we throw little jabs at each other sometimes. They might say, "Oh, Mr. Price, look at you with them New Balance, what you got that, them khaki pants on. Don't you got a pair of jeans?" I mean, we laugh and joke and we'll crack on each other. But at the end of the day, they know that I am the adult. They know that I am the person that's there, and they know also that I care about them, that I'm there every week, 8, 10, 20 weeks sometimes. So when they see me because they know that I want to be there 20 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever the amount of time that I'm there with them, and I'm showing up. And if I'm 5 minutes late, I hear about it, because they will show up and say, "Hey, Mr. Price, you're late. We've been waiting for you." They'll show up early for the program. It makes me think about, when I say surround you want young people to look at you and realize when they see you that you care about them. You're not trying to be their friend. You don't want, as an adult and a role model, you don't want to be their friend, but you want to be friendly to them. You want to be someone they can look at and say, "Okay, that's how who I can go to if I have an issue, or that's how I should, try to do some of the things, or even talk to Mr. Price or whoever, that, when I have an issue or concern, you're going to be that go-to person." And you can still be friendly and nice and laugh and joke, sometimes playing games with them, basketball, football, catch, kick, whatever. You can still do those things. But at the end of the day, they see you as an adult and as a role model, and not as my buddy, my friend, my hangout. I'm not going out there. Let's go to the park and do whatever, afterwards. I'm not hanging out with them. I may run into them while I'm out, and I'll speak, and we'll laugh and talk, those kind of things. But the thing is, just like a parent shouldn't be hanging out with their kid and going over to their girlfriend's house, and they all sitting around, talking girlfriend talk stuff, or sitting at home talking girlfriend stuff, because that's not the role as the adult. Because then when the child starts to look at you and treat you in a manner that's not as an adult, or start to treat you or disrespectful to you because they don't see you playing the role of an adult, or they don't consider you an adult or a role model, then that's when the problem begins. So I wanted to talk about that, because tonight, when we talk about a mother's love is more than just being a mother's love, just being, supportive and those kind of things. A mother's love, and this whole concept of preparing our young people for success, means we actually have to prepare ourselves for their success. We have to be ready to give them the image of what it could look like to be successful in life. And if we're not doing that, then how do we expect that child or those children that we're working with to be successful? If we walk in to our programs with our kids, or we walk into our homes and we are drunk, or under the influence of some, marijuana, because marijuana is legal, and the kids see us, under the influence, even as a parent, even though you may do that as a parent, it's not always good for your children to see everything you do. And that may be one of the things you don't want to see them do, see you doing. Because again, they're going to say, "Well, if it's okay for mom to do it, it should be okay for me to do it. If it's okay for dad to do it, it should be okay for me to do it. If it's okay for Uncle Jim to do it, and come around the house and we doing 40s and everybody playing cards and, whatever the case may be, then it should be okay for me to go hang out and drink and smoke and do things with my friends, because that's what they see." Kids emulate what they see. And if we don't present them with the images that we want them to see that's going to help them to create a better lifestyle for themselves, then we are failing those children. The power of you. The power of you is what we always talk about when we do our youth programs. The power of you, preparing young people for success, helping them to understand what their specialized skills and abilities are. And I talk about this on the show quite often when I talk about understanding your you and when I talk about preparing young people for success and mother's love. When I talk about those two subjects, I'm always talking about the power of you, because your child has something special about them that they could use in their journey to becoming successful in life. It could be a musical skill, it could be a talent of, certain type of talent, a sports skill or sports ability. But even, excuse me, even when I say a sports skill or sports ability, it doesn't mean just playing that sport, but it also means that they have a certain mindset that through that sport, they're able to achieve and be successful in that sport. And so, again, that doesn't require them to be a good reader, but they have a good attention span to pay attention to details about certain things or be able to do certain things to help them to learn how to be one of the best in that sport. And so by using that skill and that ability and showing them how they can use that skill and ability to be successful on the court, off the court, on the field, off the field, in the classroom, throughout life, that's how you reach that child. That's how you prepare that child for success, finding out what their specialized skill or ability is, and then letting them know that, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes, because a lot of times they're, especially as a role model, they see you and I've seen, and that's one of the things that kills me. You'll have a speaker come in and they'll share, I'm Dr. Willie Price and I graduated from the University of Buffalo. I have a PhD in math and science and history, and and they go on and they tell you all this great things about their lives. But then a lot of kids get it. They think it's great, oh wow, PhD, da da da. But then you also have kids in that room that may not ever see themselves getting to that potential in life, getting to that point where they're going to get a PhD or a master's, or some of them don't even see themselves getting out of high school because they've been passed over and looked over and forgotten about, or they feel that way. They feel that way. And sometimes that keynote speaker or that person coming in speaking to that classroom may want to say, hey, but when I was in school, I didn't always have the best grades, or I wasn't always the best in my class, or, and, but because it was something that I wanted, I tried harder and I found how I could apply myself, letting that person that may not be the A+ student in the classroom also say, okay, wow. Okay, he wasn't always where he is now, but he had some issues in school. He had this problem, it's letting them see that you're human, letting them see what human looks like, that human success is going to have its ups and downs, and it's going to make its mistake, and it's going to go out drinking sometime, and it's going to smoke some weed if they smoke weed. Having success has a lot of different faces, a lot of different images, a lot of different parts. There's no one part to being successful. And showing young people that success has so many different faces and so many different parts to it, that they can find their part or their parts and use those parts to be successful. Their success is going to look different from somebody else's success. Their success may not be as high or as on a different level as someone else's success. Their goals may not be the goals and will not be the goals of somebody else's. But the thing is, if they see that they can set goals for themselves that they can feel good about and feel comfortable about and feel successful about when they reach them, that is success. That is success. No one should be measuring your success based on what their success is. And see, that's what we do sometimes. We look at our children or we look at other kids or we look at children or whoever we look at, and we base our success on that person's success. But God gave them the success that they have, and God's going to give you the success that you have. And I say God because I believe that, God has a plan for all of us in life. And for us to, we look at sometimes it's nothing wrong with looking at somebody and say, oh, wow, they really have it going on. They really doing well. They really been blessed, and people say, well, he really been blessed. Somebody say, oh, he really lucky. He got this, he got that. Very rarely is it called luck. Luck has nothing to do with a lot of stuff, but the blessings come to you. But you have to work towards your blessing. God will bless you when he sees that you're working to be, that success that you want to be. He's going to open some doors for you that you could never imagine. And I say that all the time because I am a living witness to that God has blessed me with so many things that I could have never imagined. I've been through things where I was down to my last and I'm thinking, oh my God, but I never gave up because I always said, God, I know you got me. And as a result of that, it would always work itself out and doors would open for me that I never, ever imagined being opened, and opportunities and things that I'm doing and people that I've met. And that's what, when we talk about surrounding yourself with better, I often talk to our young people about getting away from their friends, meeting new friends, going to places and doing things that you never thought about doing before, that's out of your comfort zone. Because when you do that, you allow God to put you in places where doors can be open for you. And that's for adults as well. Because again, remember, adults, you have to show some examples, be an example to the young person as well. So if you're doing things outside of your comfort zone and going into circles and meeting people and doing things and being introduced to things that are outside of your comfort zone, outside of your norm, then that allows you to come back with a broader mindset that you could present to the young people that you are trying to be a role model for. Your children, your nieces, your nephews, students in the classroom, all those things. When you open up your horizons and you broaden your circles and the people that you surround yourself with, then you will find that opportunities are endless, because you're going to meet someone that is going to have some experiences and maybe some connections, some opportunities that you never had or you didn't have the opportunity to get, but now that person has connected you. So that's why I always talk to young people about going out and meeting and doing things outside of their circle, outside of their comfort zone. And sometimes that means moving away from their friends. Sometimes it means moving away from your friends, not doing everything with your close-knit circle of friends, because again, you're only going to go as far as your friends allow you to go. And I'll say allow you to go because your friends can sometimes hold you in a circle or in a box or however you want to consider it. They'll hold you in that situation. And as a result, it can actually hold you back from achieving the success that you want. So we have to show our young people, that it's okay to go to the museum. It's okay to go to the library. It's okay to go to the gym. It's okay to go to the Boys and Girls Club. It's okay to go to church. It's okay to go, walk around in the mall and just walk in the stores and window shop. It's okay to do those things. Do things that you don't normally do. I go to the mall all the time and walk around and I've met people in the mall. I've seen things happen in the mall that caught my attention. I went in and looked at and paid attention to and got some new experiences. So, I mean, You see so much when you go in the mall because there's such a variety of people there, and you never know what could be something that opens a new door and a new vision, a new opportunity for you. So I walk around the malls all the time. I go walk around the malls and just walk. I don't shop. I hate shopping. So I just go walk around the mall just to walk around and just see what's going on and see people. Preparing our young people for success means preparing ourselves for success. We have to be the image that we want them to see. So when I talk about watching these youth speakers and seeing them, the way that they're dressed and things, it just it like I said, it bothers me. It really does bother me. And I don't know why. Like I said, it it just bothers me. And I don't know why I let it bother me so much. But we have to present to our young people in a manner that lets them see that it's okay to be an adult, but I'm not trying to be your friend. I'm not trying to be your buddy. And by doing that, it allows them to see that, and feel comfortable coming to you. And feel comfortable coming to you. And not just, not because you think I'm cool, but because you know that you can come to me with an issue or a concern or something that's going on in your life. And so, like I said, with me, I think about the young people that I've worked with and how I've worked with kids, and some of them 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years later, they're still reaching out to me and just let me know how they're doing and let me know about, they're about to have a baby. Do I want to come to the baby shower? I mean, all kind of things that I get from young people that I've worked with. And those young people, like I said, we've laughed and talked, but at the end of the day, they saw me as an adult and as a role model. And that's what we want to do. They never saw me as that, oh, that's my friend, Mr. Price. No, this Mr. Price or Coach Price or whatever the case may be. But they knew that if there was something going on that they needed advice with or help with or attention with, that they knew that they could come to me, and they always felt comfortable coming to me. And that's how you want our young people to do. But at the same time, when they come to you, you want to be a listener. You want to be a listening ear. You're not giving advice. You don't want to give advice because sometimes they just need to vent. And then you may even ask them once they've said what they said, well, is this something, do you want me to try to give you some advice on this? Or, do you want to hear my thoughts on it? And let them tell you, yeah, what do you think? But to just take over and offer sometimes just like adults, sometimes we just need to vent. Sometimes we just need to hear ourselves talk about something. And as we're talking about it, we start to realize what we need to do or what we want to do. And they may even tell you, and this is what I'm thinking about doing. So then they may say, so what do you think? And then you give some advice, you give, a little bit of advice. You don't go and take it over and, well, I wouldn't do it this way. And, you ask some questions about, so what do you think about, if you do, have you considered, what other options have you thought about? I mean, so how do you think that person would feel if you did that to them? So I mean, you're a counselor. You're going to be that counselor. You're going to be that you're supposed to be that voice of wisdom to that young person. So when they come to you, you're being everything at that moment that young person needs so they can be successful. So they can see what success is, and so they can follow through with the things that they want to do. Even when I'm coaching, I'm working with my young people, and I'm working with the slowest person to the fastest person to the shortest jumper to the highest jumper. I'm working with all the kids, and I'm cheering each one on, no matter how they do. I'm laughing with all of them. I'm not just working with the best ones. I'm working with all of them. And they see that in me. And they see the fact that you could be the slowest runner and I'm cheering you on because you just ran a tenth of a second faster than you ran all season or whatever the case may be. And I'm cheering you on like you just won the race. And when they come across that line, they know I'm going to be their biggest fan in practice, and then I'm saying to them, the same way I don't allow you to fail, and I'm not going to let you look at that failure, at that loss as a failure, but look at the time you ran. That's what we're going to celebrate. I'm also going to celebrate you in the classroom. So, they always hear me say, you can't be a dummy and run for me because I want to see your grades. I want to see how you're doing in the classroom. And so they know I'm not just their coach. I'm not just that big supporter on the track. I'm also that supporter for their education, for them to create a better lifestyle for themselves. So they know, they come into practice and be like, Coach Price, you want to see my report card? Coach Price, you want to see my report card? Because they know. And even in my programs, my young men and my young ladies, they'll come and say, Coach Price, you want to see my report card? Because they know they could have all F's and a D. I'm like, oh man, we got a D in that one. And they be looking at me like, Coach Price. I said, but you got a D in that one. You get better, So there's no, they know that I'm going to be their biggest cheerleader. And it may not be the best, but the thing is, I think about myself. Because when I was at the University of Buffalo, and I know when I went on campus on my second semester at the University of Buffalo, where I had, at the time, I had like a 2.75 when I moved on campus. And that semester I moved on campus, and my grade point average for that semester was less than a 1. So I know we all make mistakes and we all have potential. And when that happened to me on campus, it was crazy because I didn't even think they could go that low. So when I saw my grade point average for that semester, it was time to buckle down, but it made me buckle down. I didn't give up and say, oh God, I had this horrible semester. I'm just going to drop out and do nothing. I said, no. I went to my counselor and I said, hey, I just need to show you that I can do this work and I want to be in the University of Buffalo. Because in the back of my mind, I also remembered my counselor in school telling me that I wasn't college material, that I shouldn't be in college, that I should go to Army or Navy or get a job, because there was no reason for me to go to college. Because how you get in college? What you gonna do in college? What are you gonna do with yourself? I mean, he was laughing. He thought it was hilarious that I got in college. And then when he found out I got into the University of Buffalo, he was stunned. What do you mean you're going to college? Going to college? Where are you going to college? Community college? I said, no, I'm going to the University of Buffalo. University of Buffalo? How'd you get in there? Now, mind you, like I said, I've always been influenced by role models. My stepfather was my role model. He had something that I wanted. He told me, I'm going to show you how to buy real estate the way I buy it, so that way you can make this kind of money that I'm making. But in order for me to do that, you have to stay in school, bring your grades up, and stop getting kicked out of school. And as a result of that, and he said, I want you to go to college. He said, even though I'm teaching you this stuff, I want you to go to college. This way, if the housing doesn't work out, if this, real estate doesn't work out for you, you have a degree, something you can use to create opportunities for yourself. He didn't have a college degree. He, went to high school, and I don't even think he really finished high school. He might have finished high school, but he went into the steel plant and he worked in the plant and he made good money, but he knew how to use his money because all of his brothers and family were very good financial literacy people, and they had businesses and different things they did. They had money. So they knew how to make their money work for them. And so he knew that that's what he had, but he was showing me how to have it for myself. So again, he was my role model. And I know he drank, but he didn't come and sit around and drink with me and talk with me. But I knew he drank because I would see the bottle sometimes. He'd see me coming out, he'd be drinking, and I would put it under the seat in the car, after coming from the plant and things like that. So I knew what he did, but he didn't influence me with what he did. He influenced me with the opportunities that he had to offer me to show me how to have a better life for myself. And that's what we have to do with the young people and the people that we surround ourselves and the young people that we're trying to influence and help in life as well. We have to present our best foot just about every time. Just about every time. You want to always be on your best when you're with your young people, even when you're having a bad day. You may even say, hey, I'm having a bad day today, but we're going to make it through this together, and some of them might say, well, what's the matter, Mr. Price? What's the matter, Mr. Price? Why are you having a bad day? Well, I'm just having a bad day, but it's adult stuff. Don't worry about it. I'll get to it later. But, but the thing is, you're letting them know, because if they care about you and they see you all the time, They can tell when you have a bad day. They can tell when your mood is changing, when you're not as outgoing and not as chipper and friendly and motivated in the program and things like that. So you have to be honest with them. And being honest with a kid doesn't mean you're telling them your life story, but you're being honest with them enough to know, and that they know, wow, he's being honest. He's sharing with us. He's sharing with us, and he's having a bad day, but he's still here with us. He's still being with us. And he told us, I'm having a bad day today, but I'm here and we're going to make it through this together, because we all have bad days sometimes. And sometimes we just need each other to lean on. And so things like that, when you're working with young people and they see that on a regular basis, that lets them see it's okay to have a bad day, but it's how you make that bad day work for you is what counts. Because you're having a bad day, you don't make everybody else day as bad as yours. Actually, let them help your day become better. You do these things and you show them that they can be successful. This is what success look like. It's not going to always be a great ups and great happy days and all those kind of things. Sometimes you're going to have a bad day. Sometimes you're not going to make as much money. Sometimes you may get laid off from the job. Sometimes the stock market may go down and you're going to lose $1,000, $2,000. I lost like $8,000 in the stock market. I just thought about that. But it's funny, I'm laughing at it. But I lost like $8,000 in the stock market. And I was just whatever. Anyway, but think about it. The mindset is what it's all about, and showing them that things get bad and things get good. They get better, and you have to work through whatever God puts in front of you. You just have to work through it, because He never puts more on you than you can bear. And that was something my grandmother used to say. I used to hear her say that sometimes, but she used to always say, when you need him, he'll always come when you need him. He's always on time. That was the one I always remember, because when I fell 25 feet from the roof, I remembered that. He may not come when you want him, but he's always on time. And I remember that. My grandmother said that to me. And that was something that has always stayed with me. But God never puts more on you than you can bear. And so that means if something is on you and it's weighing you down, it's just a test of your strength, a test of your belief, a test of your abilities to overcome that tragedy. And that's what this No Dream is Impossible is: overcoming tragedies, showing you how to take the skills that you have and overcome those tragedies and be successful in life. And that's what we have to do with our young people. Again, my name is Willie A. Price. Willie A. Price Speaks. Preparing young people for success means preparing ourselves for success. If you're not prepared and you're not presenting the image that you want that young person to portray, if you're not setting a good example for that, then how can you expect them to be successful? You have to think about that. It's okay to show them that, you made mistakes. It's okay to let them know that you're not their friend, but you're an adult there. You're there to be an example of what success could look like for them. Just being, going through the ups and downs, those kind of things, being honest with a young person like that. And like I said, for me, it's not dressing like them. It's not dressing like them. I'm not going to be wearing the skinny jeans. Oh, Lord, please don't wear no skinny jeans. But I'm not going to be wearing skinny jeans and things like that, and hat twisted on backwards and all those kind of things. That's not the image that I want to portray to them. So I'll go in there with my polo shirts, and I'll go in there with my khakis on. I'll go in there with my sneakers on. Most of the time I wear like loafers, but sometimes I wear sneakers, depending on how my feet feel, because of my ankle. But most of the time I wear like my New Balance sneakers and my Dickies, my khaki pants, and a polo shirt. Sometimes I wear a vest. Sometimes I wear a sweater, but I'm not walking around looking like them. I'm not walking around with a Bugs Bunny t-shirt on, those kind of things, Preparing young people for success, a mother's love. And that's why I call this Sunday A Mother's Love, where we're presenting to our young people all the skills that we think they should have and more to help them to prepare for success and be the best that they can be in life. That is our role. That is my role. That is my goal. That is my mission in life, to prepare and help as many young people as I can. And not only help young people, but help families, because you have some families who have never had this conversation, who have never been taught these skills and these abilities that they have. And so sometimes the parents, because they may not have finished school or they only finished high school. And so sometimes those parents are in situations where they don't always feel at their best, or that they have the ability to be more successful. So that's why we've at A Better You Lifestyle, that's why we created this program, A Better You Lifestyle, so that way we can work not only with the youth, but with their families as well. So we're working with families. We're doing financial literacy programs for the families, the youth and the families. We're doing hygiene and nutrition with the youth and the families. We're doing public speaking with the youth and the families. We're doing family activities. We're doing family workshops and presentations, and we're going to be going hybrid, where we're going to be doing online and reaching people from all over the country through our programs. So this way we may be in a classroom doing a workshop, but it's going to be virtual, where people from all over the country can watch it. So we may have people in Canada and England and Israel and wherever the case may be. But we're going to have, we're opening up where we can help and open up and touch more lives on a regular basis through A Better You Lifestyle Inc., which is the nonprofit that I'm working with to become something that's going to become a household name in the country. So we've been having some great opportunities. But again, I'll talk about that next week. Actually, I'll talk about that next week on Financially You, when I talk about some of the opportunities that A Better You Lifestyle is going to be opening up to the community and to the world. Again, my name is Willie A. Price. Willie A. Price Speaks. You guys have a blessed day, and I will see you next Sunday.